Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Super Nerd. First of all, you're going to have to excuse my room because I just came back from class, and I'm reporting to you live from Florence, Italy. Yay! Yes, I'm still here. This is my 12th day here, and you're also gonna have to excuse this video because it's not gonna be edited. I know that you're like, oh, Ashley, you're on your own right now. Like, you can edit videos. Girl, I'm in Italy. There's so many other things that I want to do that does not involve editing videos. So right now it's currently like 1:20 in the afternoon. So I just got back from class. I'm eating lunch. So you're gonna have to excuse me because I'm gonna be eating in this video. Because I'm hungry and I didn't eat breakfast. I don't normally eat breakfast, but um, yeah. So I thought I would just touch base with you. I've been here about 12 days, so I guess this video is gonna be like things I've learned so far while living abroad. You know. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first thing I think we should bring up the pros because there is a lot of pros of living abroad. I'm specifically talking about Italy right now. It may be different depending on where you are or the situation that you're in currently. I'm not saying that everybody's situation is the same. Um, so the first pro definitely has to be the independence. If you don't know, I still live with my parents back at home in America, which is nice because I don't really need to pay rent, and rent is like astronomical, especially where I live. Um, so sorry. So definitely, they kind of threw me off the deep end here because I went from living with my parents my whole life to living alone in a different continent. So it's actually kind of nice. I thought I would hate it more, I guess. I do miss my parents and my sister back at home. I really do. I talk to them like every day, every other day. They ask me like what I'm doing here, like how are things going, yada yada yada. But it's nice because aside from like schools and chores and general stuff, um, people really don't tell me what to do here. I spent my whole life kind of, no offense, because I'm still their house, their rules, but finally like I don't really have to answer to anybody but myself and my own consequences. So like if I make a mistake, back at home, usually other people kind of clean it up for me. But this time I'm gonna have to learn from my mistakes, and that goes on to the second pro, which is kind of maturity, because I'm quite a child at heart. This is actually a really good salad. I'm very much a child at heart. You know, a bit childish, a bit immature, especially for my age. So I think this is really teaching me a lot about maturity and accountability, because I have to plan my own schedule. So I have to, first of all, I have to budget, which I've been doing. I have been budgeting every day. I've been making a list of my expenses and things I pay for. And so budgeting, I have to learn, and I'm learning that very quickly. I think I have to pay rent next week, if I'm correct. I will get there when we get there. So I'm learning about budgeting. I'm doing groceries because I gotta eat, and eating out is expensive if you do it all the time. Like once in a while, eating out is completely fine. Treat yourself. You're in Italy. Go to authentic Italian restaurants, but you do need groceries. You need like healthcare, cleaning stuff. You're gonna need that. So yes, I have to go out and get groceries, and as well as run errands. I recently went to the laundromat, and that took like 2 hours because it was filled. There was very few actual washing machines and very many people. Um, so, so that took like 2 hours. And then I had to come back and iron my clothes, which like I really don't do. I mean, I've ironed before. Like, all right, I'm not gonna say like I'm a spoiled brat who's never done nothing in her life, but I have to do that. I have to keep my space clean, which I will be doing right after this video. After I eat. So it's really like showing me a responsibility. And also like I'm more vigilant now. I'm always like looking around, just to be sure, because I am a single female on her own. Really good. Anyway, so you do want to be vigilant, but yeah, maturity is definitely a thing. Another pro is three, just being in a different area. Like, I've only known like the Northeast and maybe Florida and South Carolina my whole life. I see the same things. It's boring. It's boring. Just living your life, doing the same things. But now I'm in a completely like a whole new world. Like I'm seeing things I've like never seen except in like picture books or movies. And it's incredible. It's an incredible experience. It's just like being around a whole different culture. Which brings me to point 4 of the pros. Would be just living in the culture. I mean, being in Florence, especially. Florence is a city that is full of art and history and just design. It's a very art focused, history focused, Renaissance focused city in Italy. I guess other ones would be like Rome or Vatican City or Pisa or things like that. But Florence is definitely like one of the big ones. Actually, yesterday I went to Dante Alighieri's house and I booked Inferno. So it's a whole experience, really, and it's actually because in America you're used to like the oldest buildings being maybe 300 years old. You're looking at like 6, 7, 8, 900, maybe even 1,000-year-old buildings here. Like, it's incredible, honestly, and very humbling. Especially pictures really don't do it justice here. It is a very incredibly humbling experience. You're looking at these things and you're wondering, like, how the hell did they create this all the way back then? Sorry, there's a mosquito. That is, I will say so far that has been one negative, is that there have been a lot of mosquitoes here, and my legs definitely can prove that, because they are all bitten by mosquitoes. Yeah, that is one negative, though, is the mosquitoes, because me and mosquitoes, we don't hang, so. And that brings me to 5, which is the culture, because I'm not Italian, as far as I know. I'm Irish, German, English, I think Polish, and maybe Czechoslovakian. I don't really have any Italian with me, so I have to experience a whole new culture. And may I tell you, the people here are so friendly. They're so helpful. You could go up to almost anybody with a question or like ask them something and they will like help you out. Like the other day I was stranded in Milan and we had to get a taxi at like 3 a.m. to bring us back, which was an ordeal in of itself. But I told the driver what road I lived on, what address, and he not only brought me there. No, I have problems with the locks because they're so old. It's kind of hard to like work with them. So he came up and unlocked the door for me. Everybody's super sweet here. No, of course there's people out there that are being sweet because they want to sell you something, but generally people are really nice here. I think it's because it's a tourist area, so they're like used to like people like me. May I say, I love dark greens here. Let me get this. I prefer like kale and stuff over like iceberg lettuce. I don't know. I think like the kale is just like more flavorful. Rather like iceberg lettuce. Feels like I'm biting into water. So yeah, I mean, it's just the whole experience here, and it's beautiful and humbling and just It's magnificent, really. I'm having a wonderful time here, you know, especially at night because Florence, you know, it's pretty active during the day because all the museums and all that stuff is open. At night, that's when the culture comes out. Because you got like restaurants open, you got like street performers, you got just all the light. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So those are my pros. Let's go to my cons. Definitely the sewage system. It doesn't, maybe that's from a privileged American point of view, but you can't throw toilet paper on the toilet in most places. It's because the sewage system cannot handle it. It's just funny because like Rome is like one of the first places to have like plumbing. So whatever. The other one is the lack of air conditioning. Because I'm stupid and I didn't realize how hot it was gonna be here. Mediterranean heat is no joke. Like, I'll literally walk outside or even just like stand still inside a building for 5 minutes and I will be drenched in sweat. Like, it's insane. It's insane. I'm definitely lucky that I have these two fans because they're keeping me like alive right now. I definitely another con. And I get why. It's because it's only like AC, just general electrical stuff, because these buildings are so old and has such like historic value in it that they don't really want to change it too much. You know what I mean? Because it's a historical building, so they don't want to update it if they don't have to. So, you know, that's just how it is. So I get it. It's just kind of annoying and inconvenience, I guess. The third one would be definitely the transit systems here. And like, I don't understand too much Italian, but even like if it's in English, I still don't understand it. Like in New York, you get a train like 24 hours a day. The trains don't stop running. Here they do. And that's why I was stuck in Milan last week. And there's like no Ubers. I mean, there's a few, but like, good luck. And the taxis, you can hardly get a hold of the taxis. At least I couldn't. Maybe it's because my phone plan, I don't know. But the whole bus train system is an ordeal. It's very stressful. And it's very anxiety inducing. So I'm not really a big fan of the transit system here. Especially with what I went through my first week. What else? I think the last con really has to do with like my personal, you know, demons, I guess. Okay. Sorry, I got a Snapchat. Is, I don't know if you know, I think I've talked about it before, but I have like an intense fear of time and definitely a big fear of missing out. And you're like, what does that have to do with it? Listen, every day I go out and have a great time. I have like a wonderful time even. You know, it's magical, beautiful. I just immerse myself completely, you know. It's like I'm living in a dream, you know. The days are fine. It's the night times where I don't like it. It's the same at home, but because I'm experiencing something new, especially for a long period of time, it's definitely worse. How can I describe it? So I have 11 weeks left. You know, I've only been here 12 days, so I have about 75 days left. You know, because I had to skip a couple days so I could, so I didn't have to, you know, get a visa. So I didn't go because I couldn't get a visa, so I had to cut back the number of days I went. So you need a visa if you're here for over 90 days. I'm here for 88, so it's been 12 days, so I have 75 days left, which is a lot of time. is an extremely a lot of time. Most people don't come here. I mean, unless they're studying it like I am, for much longer than maybe like 2 weeks. You know, so I have all the time in the world. The thing is that my brain doesn't think I do, and I know that this vacation, study is going to end, and I'm not sure how I can cope with that. Yes, I'll come back with a bunch of new stories, experiences, hopefully a more mature person. I'm gonna miss it a lot. Even though I'm going out every day, or going out every day doing stuff. I feel like what I'm doing is not good enough. That I'm not experiencing it the way I should. And I know with my ADHD and my autism, I don't experience things the way that others do. My mind is a little warped like that. I guess my brain has like concocted up like, oh, this needs to be a fairy tale every day. Coming up with a scenario where my brain just doesn't work like that. And I get really upset over it. And I'm just like, oh, you're wasting your time, you're missing out, you're blah, 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 because you're not feeling like this 100% of the time. It's really stupid. And I'm not really sure how to deal with that. It's kind of like post-con depression, but like 10 times worse. Because, a con, only lasts like 4 days. I'm here for like 3 months. And I don't want to be thinking like, oh, you're missing out, even when I'm not. So I know my brain is lying to me. I don't want to be thinking like that for 3 months and then come back and I'm like, oh, why was I so miserable? Because I'm having a great time. So I don't know why my brain does that. So I guess if you could give me any advice for the fear of missing out, that'd be wonderful. I would take it immediately. But yeah, that's about it. I've been having a pretty good time. Hi, everybody at home. I miss you guys so much. I miss Tim. I miss my girlfriend in Nigeria. I miss all my friends. I miss my family. Even though I'm having a really good time here. I finally settled in. I kind of know the area pretty well now. I can walk to and from without using Google Maps. Which is an improvement. Considering how disoriented I am. But yeah. I thought I would just update you guys about how I'm doing. So that's it for today. Bye.